I just made an Instagram post, posted on social media. Let's see if we get a few people in here, and let's discuss Darkness Awaits. All right, it says, hang on. Hello. Let me see if I can, haven't done too many of these videos, live videos. Let me try to scroll up and see. Oh, nope. Shouldn't I scroll? Nope. Okay. I'll give a few more, a minute or two for a few more people to get in here, and then we're gonna just jump into the book, Darkness Awaits, book 2 of the Virtuous Academy series. You see, I got some notes. Just ignore my notes. I'm gonna try to keep myself organized so I won't hold people up too long. So let's see if I need to make some more social media posts. Remind everyone. I had to remind myself in my calendar. So let me see if some more people pop in. Alright, Twitter. Oh, okay. Somebody reposted. Thank you. Let's see if this repost helps. Alright, let's see. Facebook. Let's check Facebook. Oh, another person liked on Facebook. Okay. Let's see if that like turns into a view. Let me see they pop in. All right. Okay, a couple of likes, couple of social media likes. Hopefully they'll pop in. Let me see any more. Twitter. We got a repost. A retweet. All right, 2 more minutes and I'm gonna get started. I think the videos can be saved for people to look at later, so maybe this will turn into also a video for my YouTube channel. All right, get off of that. Up to some Instagram. All right, we'll exit out all that. Let me open up my notes. All right, I don't see anyone posting any comments, any questions. So, all right, I think 1 more minute. Let me see what. Supreme Overlord, thanks for popping in. All right, 7:13. I don't think we need to give 15 minutes. I think we can get started, and hopefully all this talking, I will be able to save this video and save it up, log onto it, load it up on my YouTube. So let me see. I don't have any current questions, so I'm just going to, let's see. I'll talk about myself first. Some people who are following me on social media might already know me a little bit. I am Jamila A. Stone. Everybody knows my name already. I have written my 3rd novel so far. Darkness Awaits is the sequel to Strange Things Await, but it is my 3rd novel altogether. And there will be another book to the Virtuous Academy series. It's a trilogy. I discussed that before. The title for the 3rd book is called Sacrifices Await. So you could probably tell the theme. It book 1, 2, and 3. It's I like to call it a dark magical ride. So it's nothing too fluffy. But I'm hoping you all are going to enjoy the ride anyway. So let's see our different questions. I'm going to, let me record on 2 things. I'll record on my desktop as well, just in case this does not save for me to upload on YouTube later. I'm going to use my desktop camera as well. I'm going to, as a backup. I know some of you professionals are probably chuckling right now. I'm going to get there. I'm going to understand all this technology pretty soon. So let me also record. Jawad. Hey, Jawad. I haven't seen you in forever. I didn't even know you were still alive. I'm going to have to find, I didn't know if I had you on Instagram. I'll have to find you later and catch up with you. So I did not see, I'll use my camera to back up on my laptop. Also record myself on here and record myself on the camera as well. So Darkness Awaits is book 2 of the Virtuous Academy series. I started, look, oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna catch up soon, Jawad. I hope you been doing well, and I definitely hope you and your family haven't had COVID. Okay. Let me see. I already talked about myself a little bit. Actually, good news. I just graduated from my grad school, master's in public administration with a concentration in nonprofit management. So I'll still be writing my books. I'll still, I have a lot of books planned, but hopefully I probably will go into some type of local government or federal government position. And what else about me? Everybody probably knows from my pictures. I also, I have 2 dogs. Let's see. Also, I have my own publishing company, Black Glory Publishing House. And we are open for submissions. So if you are a writer or author and you have any finished manuscripts, definitely email it to us. Check out our website, blackglorypublishinghouse.com. All right, so that's enough about myself. Let's talk about the books. I won't hold people up too long. Hopefully, I keep seeing on social media, we got a few more likes and retweets and reposts. So hopefully all those people who are clicking like will actually pop in. Let's see. The book has been out for about 4 weeks now. 4 to 5 weeks right now. So I will talk in detail, but I promise I won't give any big spoilers away. I know 4 weeks isn't a lot, but it is a little bit of time where I'm going to be discussing, especially the first couple of pages. Hopefully, some of you all have read a little bit already. Let's see, what makes your vampires different from others? So I talk a lot about the witches because the main 2 characters are witches. And I have not talked too much about our vampires yet. So vampires, we have werewolves, werecats, we have a bunch of species. I'll turn this up, make sure everybody can hear me. So the vampires in this story, those who have read the first book have noticed that some have claws, depending on their not really ranking, but their bloodline. If they are royal bloodline, some of them who are ancient, like Russell, his claws actually glow. So there are a few hints of the difference of the species in my books from other books who have vampires. Also, my vampires, it's typical for some to be able to go out into the sunlight. Some can't, some can. And they find different ways around it. Magic. There's also for the very rich. You can also, there's a type of cream. So there's a few tweaks here and there that make them special. Let's see. Werewolves are pretty much the same you would see in other books. Let me see. Russell. Now that is, do we see Russell? That was something two beta readers were asking. They actually like Russell in book 1. So yes, we do see Russell. So anyone who is a fan of Russell, he is back in book 2. Not gonna say how he's back, but he's back. I think the relationship with him and Natalie went fast, but the way things ended, I think there's room for growth, especially with Natalie and her growth throughout the story. She definitely had a rough time after losing her father, and jumping into a relationship right away was just it was hard for her. So I think sometimes when you are going through tragedy, sometimes you can self-destruct. And I think Russell's a pretty good guy. He'll understand that, and we'll see how their relationship is in book 2. Hey Malika, how you doing? Though you might have had to work. Okay. Let me see. Another question. Couple of people wonder about Alex and how her mom being in prison is affecting her. So I think from the back of the book, the blurb, we definitely get a hint that things will be pretty tough for Alex after she loses her mom. And I think we see pretty right away after book 1 that she really wants to please her mom. She is, her mom's not her twin, but she is really focused on honoring and being loyal to her mom and her coven. So in book 2, we see that shift, that once she became friends with Nat again and friends with the other group, Leslie and Arnold, that she starts to think about loyalty can sometimes kind of mess you over. Sometimes you can be so loyal to someone and then realize they don't care as much about you as you care about them. So there will definitely be a shifting in that relationship, the mother-daughter relationship between Alex and Brenda. But there also might be a little a thought behind Alex, even though she's trying to shift and be her own woman. She's starting to realize how hard life is without her mom being able to protect her. So you have this badass woman who is a lawyer by day, but she's also running an underground illegal operation. She's leader of this dark coven. And when you have a dark coven, you're going to make a few enemies. So Brenda, I think we can safely say she is making a lot of enemies. So with her gone, with her in prison, those enemies are now thinking, oh, this is our chance to take over. This is our chance to get back at her. And what better way to get back at Brenda than to go after her own daughter? So it's a lot of rough times ahead for Alex, but I think we can imagine from book 1 that Alex is not one to, run away. She's not going to just she's not going to see a threat and not run towards it. So it's going to be fun seeing how Alex handles being away from her mom, that protection. I'm trying to think of maybe a page in a book that I can read that it won't be too much of a spoiler, but I'll just say, because I'm going to read something else in the book, I'll just say that Alex definitely is needing all of her allies to keep her head above water while her mom is away. All right, let me see. Another question. Will Natalie find love? That's too broad. I know in the first book, I really was having Natalie just kind of emotionally cut off. She was just all over the place. Book 2, she settles down. I will say she's not all over the place in book 2 in the romance department. But she has her family love and her friends. She has that love. I don't want to give away anything, so I don't want to say too much on that question. Let me see. Trying to skip the questions that I made myself and try to look at some that some beta readers have said or I've seen in reviews so far. A couple of reviews have come in, so I'm trying to get to those first. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here was one. Why is Natalie friends with Alexandra? That was definitely that was when I got that question from one of the beta readers. It broke me a little bit. I was like, oh, they don't want them to be friends. I'm like, no, they have to be friends. So it was it made me think though. It did. It made me really focus on their relationship more, because sometimes as an author you think things in your head, you're like, oh, they're so great, they're friends, and you know their backstory. You know their backstory so well, and you forget to go into that backstory with your readers. So I did not put down too much detail on making sure that the friendship was, I guess, equal. So in book 1, I guess everything was a little more lopsided with the friendship. Maybe the reader thought that Alexandra, maybe Alex was too dark for Nat. They didn't see the friendship. They understood why Alex would be friends with Nat. You know, Alex is depending so much on Natalie. She is her whole her soul is pretty much dependent on Natalie being her judge, her jury, you know, her savior. That before Alex and Nat became friends again, Alex was just focused on doing whatever her mom said, whatever her coven wanted, whatever was going to get her more power. So she was consumed with darkness. And I think readers can see that she struggled with that. She didn't want to be consumed by darkness. And that was what pulled her out of it. And I guess sometimes it can be almost like a crutch. You know, she can rely on Nat too much. And I think in book 2, you all will definitely see Alex standing on her own 2 feet. That she is not going to rely only on Nat. That she is going to be her own person. That she's going to decide for herself. I want to do good, not because I don't want Nat be friends with me anymore. I want to be good because it's my choice. I want to be good myself, for me. And that growth for Alex is one of my favorites of the whole book, of any character in the book. Her growth to just stand on her own 2 feet and to decide what type of person she wants to be. It's just awesome. And I know I wrote it, but sometimes when you're writing, a story can just go a different direction than you had planned, or go into a deeper direction than you initially planned. Definitely one of the scenes, I will say, some people have read and made comment. The friendship between Natalie and Marcus Hamilton definitely has gotten away from me. That definitely was not, as deep as their friendship is, was not planned by me. And I know people aren't going to believe it. It was not planned at all. I made a little note. I wish I can somehow with Instagram, I can pull up, like on a computer when I'm doing Zoom, I can share my screen. But I just made notes when I'm doing my outline. When I write, I do an outline of notes. And I put down, Hamilton and Alex work together. Not going to say how, not going to give it away, but they work together. And then I put, through working together, they might become friends. Hamilton is Alex's friend and he's part of the group. So since Nat is part of the group now, it's going to be hard for her to avoid him. So because it's hard for her to avoid him, I said, let me put in that they don't hate each other anymore. They're not going to be fighting tooth and... So that was my only plan, was that little bit of detail. But me just planning on putting a sentence or two here, maybe a little paragraph, turned into a lot more than I had planned. I definitely was typing and writing, just writing in my bed, writing, and you all will see. Those who have read it, those who have read the book are definitely understanding what I'm talking about. You all don't tell people. I see with my other book, my second book, Gates Bookstore, I see some people have given too many details away. But this book, hopefully no one gives it away. But yeah, that friendship took me off track, and it actually I'll talk about it on a later video after I give people more chance to read the book. But I'll just say that shift changed a lot of chapters, a lot of almost more than half the book. It changed, and I'll explain how it changed at a later date. It's pretty interesting, and I think you all will enjoy the book as is, but I'm thinking I might, for maybe an anniversary special, or maybe just for my fans, I might put in what was originally supposed to happen in the book. Okay, let me go on. Let me see. Okay, any triggering themes? Now, I've had a lot of bloggers ask me that. I guess that's a thing now, to talk about triggering themes. That's hard for me because I don't know. I'm not a fan of putting triggering themes or trying to like parental advisory, and so I didn't give it too much thought. I do trying to think. There is sexual content, there's violence, fighting, there's detailed fighting scenes, and character deaths, and there is not detailed, but there is a little drug use. I don't know if that would be triggering to anybody. To be honest, maybe I just have a dark mind. I don't really know what the triggering themes would be. There's not many people here, maybe those who are going to be watching later. I'm pretty sure I can save this. Hopefully I can, or I'm just talking for no reason. So hopefully everybody who's watching this later on, educate me, put in a comment, let me know what some triggering themes are. And oh, no, I think a reviewer, I'll look through the Amazon reviews. I believe an Amazon reviewer might have mentioned triggering themes. I think it's just like sexual content, violence, bad language. I don't know. Let me see. Will there be another book? Well, yeah, there'll be another book. I guess for those who don't follow me, this is only book 2. There will be a book 3. Sacrifices Await is the title. See, do I have to read book 1 to enjoy book 2? That's up to you. Definitely prefer you to read book 1, but if you read book 2, a lot of details within the book, within Darkness Awaits, has been in book 1, so you'll figure out things as you read. But some reviewers have said that you should definitely read book 1, and I've seen maybe 2 or 3 that said you don't. So I don't know, maybe on the safe side, read book 1. Okay, I'm going to exit out of that one, and let me look at the notes that I prepared. Let's talk about magical systems in Virtuous Academy. So I think this is going to be real interesting for those who enjoy supernatural books and fantasy. So let me see. Of course, in almost every supernatural type of book that I've read, or any movies or TV shows, you have to maintain the secrecy of the supernatural world. Okay, but in my book, a few humans do know about the supernatural world. Some, basic, guessing, and maybe they had an encounter, but they don't know much. But there are, like, the president, human president of, the United States, does know in detail about the supernatural world. Not all presidents will get the information, only those who are deemed to be able to handle the information and who will work in peace with the supernatural community and leadership. Also, some mayors and governors are aware of the supernatural world as well. So those who have read know Natalie's mother, Samantha King, who is a witch, is mayor of Portland, Rhode Island. And she is also Rhode Island's supernatural liaison to the human leadership, like the president and the state governor. So humans also, you'll find out in Darkness Awaits that the humans have what's called a supernatural task force, the STF, of the United Nations. So they make decisions on maintaining the secrecy, and they make alliances and peace agreements with the supernatural leadership to keep the human community safe. I don't see any questions. Hey, Ron. Let me see. Keep going. Magic can be a born ability, or it can be a learned ability. So, like, for example, witches are born with magical powers. It's a part of their essence, their spirit. So when they use magic, they draw from their own energy source, their own essence. This type of magic is only strong as their spirit is. So the stronger the witch is, the stronger their powers are going to be. they can harm themselves or kill themselves if they draw too much of their own essence. Let me see a question. All right, Malika, what was your inspiration for the book? Well, it's probably if the answer probably fits in for the first book. I was inspired to write the first book weirdly after a dream. So I talked about this before with book one, that I had a dream about the scene where Alex first saves Natalie on campus from being attacked by a shapeshifter. So it was, I guess maybe just God. I don't really know where it came from. I wasn't really watching anything on TV that was supernatural at the time. But that scene came to me in a dream, and I just kept writing and writing and writing, and I ended up having a book within a year. It was probably 6 months or so. I finished the book. In book two, I knew I wanted to do a sequel to book one because I just had so much information, and it was so easy to write Natalie and Alexandra. I just knew I wanted to keep going with their story. So with book two, Darkness Awaits, I thought about where their story would take place after the first book ended. The first book ended with them finding out who the monster was, and actually they found out who created the monster. Just in case no one has read the first book, I won't say who it was. Pretty sure everybody should have known, but I definitely don't want to give a spoiler. So we'll talk about that on a different video where I can make sure I put down, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. But book two story, I definitely thought about the two characters, Alex and Natalie, where their journey would take place after their shift in personality, shift in their own personal lives, and also their growth. I wanted to show that bond they have and continue the theme of, dark and light, and what's right and what's wrong. And now that Natalie is determined to be a loyal friend to Alex, and she really wants to see the world in color and gray now. She's not going to see the world black and white. So the interesting thing that comes with opening your eyes up to the different realities of the world that's around you. And I think that everyone, with this second book, I'm trying to think of things not to spoil. With the second book, I had to see. I can't. I was gonna. It's too much of a spoiler. I hinted on the back of the book something personal happens and throws a wrench in Alex's life. So that personal thing is really a driving factor in the whole book, in the whole story. Those who have read it might understand. I'm trying to answer the question without giving too much away. But yeah, that's my answer, because I can't talk too much about what personal new discovery in Alex's life has come into her life. That's a very big driving point of the story. So if you have read maybe a couple of chapters in, you will definitely get a hint of what things are foreshadowing. Those that have maybe a few chapters in, like the lunar eclipse. So those are a couple hints for later. Let me see. Go back to my notes about magical system. Oh, right. Witches. I discussed this in book 1. Because witches are born with their magical powers, they are normally homeschooled until they learn how to control their powers. So there are only a few magical supernatural schools in their world. So most are very hard to get into financially, and also because of, social ranking. So when you look more into book 2, Darkness Awaits, you'll see the Virtuous Academy school is really full of a lot of rich people, influential, students who have definitely gotten their way into the school because they are rich, or their parents are influential. I'm getting tongue-tied trying to go over my notes. In some way, in some manner, that's why they are in the school. So let me see. Oh, the magic. It does not need to be verbalized or an object. So unlike Harry Potter, there's no magical wand, and they don't need to verbalize their magic, their spells, or any output of power. Some spells and rituals do include verbalization or objects. There's a very fun scene in chapter 13. I don't know how far you all have gotten, but in chapter 13, there is both combined. There is non-verbalization, there's verbalization, and there's also objects included. So that was my chapter to involve multiple aspects of magical ability. Let's see. Witches can draw power from their ancestors. So they can do from the ancestors, from other energy sources, nature, items, any sources of magic. Let me see. Some energy sources they can't draw from. So if you have an energy source of equal power or more, they must give consent. So if I am, let's say Natalie and Alessandra, for example, they have different power levels. Even though when they fight, it seems almost equal, the way they be so destructive. But it's different power levels. So Natalie can't take magic from Alessandra without her willingly giving it. Also, a light witch or a dark witch might not be able to draw from each other based on prejudices or laws of their family or coven. And I think we'll see Natalie getting in trouble and Darkness Awaits more than once. She will be in trouble with her coven because her coven is light, full of light magic, and that's another avenue where we see how difficult being friends with Alessandra is. Book 1, Strange Things Await, they didn't like each other at first anyway. They had a lot of rough history, a lot of things going on that we didn't see how the outside world viewed their friendship. We saw how those two viewed their friendship. They didn't want to be friends at first. So in book 2, we see how their friends, their family, their covens are reacting to their friendship. How do they think about it? You have a coven of light magic and a coven of dark magic. Even though Nat and Alex aren't butting heads anymore, I think you all will see just how open the community is, the community of witches are towards each other. And that's another favorite part of writing Darkness Awaits was to really dig into the history and the culture of the different witch covens. So I hope you all will really love and appreciate the detail that I have gone into with some of the different covens. And in book 3, there's going to be a lot more detail and culture about different covens, and there is going to be a few more added in, which is definitely going to be pushing the title Sacrifices Awaits to the limit. But there will be some happiness here and there. I don't want to discourage anyone from reading. It won't be all dark, but there will be more covens and details about witches in book 3. Let me see. Witches draw power. Okay. Foreign magic. Now we talked about magic from objects, and we talked about magic from other living sources, and magic is from witch to witch. But let's talk about foreign magic. So this can be magic from just a completely different entity, like a human and alien. So if a foreign magic of any kind gets into a witch, it would be risky, very risky. It can have an effect like an illegal drug can have on humans. It can also cause severe pain or even death. So you all will also see one of our characters, not going to say who, but you will see the effect that foreign magic can have on an individual. And definitely was a hard thing to write. And again, no spoilers. So far, no one who has reviewed so far has said anything about that. But I hope you all are enjoying the detail and the aspect of magic within my book. Okay. All right, I just have 2 more. I'm not going to hold people up, especially those who might be watching at a later date. I thank you for watching. I'm going to discuss also a little bit. That's why I put it last, because there's a risk of talking too much. Spoiler alert, possibly for those who have gotten deep into the book. There are multiple dimensions in this world that I created. I did not expand it too much in this book, but the multiple dimensions are not well explored, and it's just like space travel. Like space travel for humans is not well explored. So in the Virtuous Academy world, is not very well explored. Traveling dimensions is difficult because knowledge of them is minimal. One can't travel somewhere they don't know. And opening a portal is the safest way to travel different dimensions, but it requires a lot of skill and power. Lastly, about the dimensions, dimensions in my world is, Earth. So the extra dimensions in their world in the book, only the Order of Light or the High Order are able to travel dimensions without a portal by using a special staff. And that'll come into the book as well. So anything I talked about today, you're going to see in the book. So hopefully, if you haven't picked it up yet, it'll get you excited to pick it up and read it. And the order light and the high order, even though they can do it easier, they don't do it unless it's an extreme circumstance, because there isn't a lot of information about these different dimensions. So it's not very smart to enter someone else's territory and not know how to get back or know what danger you're going to be in. So I think I covered all of my notes. I did not read the scene. I was going to read my little note I put in here, friends. So when I went over the question about why, I went over I never answered the question. So let me backtrack. So the question that the beta reader had was, why is Natalie friends with Alexandra? I thought I went over it, but I'm going to do a little reading. I saved it for last, so that way you all can't run. So let me read this paragraph in the book to explain from Natalie's mouth herself why she is friends with Alex. Let me see. Okay. All right. So I said, why are you friends with me? Alex speaks up, ignoring the expression on Nat's face. Are we friends? I mean, you're you and you're what? Amazing? The best friend I ever had? Nat shakes her head in disbelief and approaches Alex, who moves away. Reluctantly, Nat halts. You were my first friend. My first best friend. You've always protected me, stood up for me, when you were always so much cooler than I was. Nat chuckles and wipes away her tears. I can always be myself with you. I killed 2 people last semester and you never made me feel like a monster. Even though we weren't friends, you saved my ass more than once. Nat takes Alex's hands in hers. You're my strength. So, try not to get choked up because, as you could tell probably from the scene, that there's some difficulty going on during that scene with Alex and Nat. But I won't talk about it too much. Those who have read know what I'm talking about, and those who have not read, read the book. So I hope that answers the question, why is Natalie friends with Alexandra? This is all I'm going to talk about tonight. I definitely did not want to go too much in while the book has just been out for a few weeks. But I will be giving a lot more detail in a couple more weeks. I'm going to give you all more time to read the book. And I will make sure when I'm promoting it, I make sure I say spoiler alert that we're going to be diving deep into the book. And hopefully by then a lot of people have read it and we will have more viewers. And we will also have a lot more questions and discussion. And just have fun. Just have fun with the world that I built. And also with the story and the importance of having Black characters, main characters, and characters that aren't dying. And I think everyone knows, especially Black characters and also queer characters, how they are just either the side character or they are just killed off right away. Or killed off after one season. Or they don't. One of my favorites, Lexa. We ain't gonna talk about that. But hopefully you all enjoyed the story and also are excited about a new author, a Black author, new books out there for other people of color, and also just the world of literature in general, the addition to literature of strong characters and diverse characters, and just yeah, it's just so important. So I definitely want to follow any other authors of color, those who have written books of characters of diversity. Any of you, please follow me, and please make yourself known to me. I definitely want to follow you, and I definitely want to support you and your books as well. So to those who are viewing and who are viewing later, I love you guys. I'm so thankful for your support, and I hope you all continue to support me. And I'm going to upload this video on my YouTube channel and share it on social media. Hopefully I did this right. I'm not very tech savvy, but I'm hoping this will save. It'll save on Instagram, but hopefully it'll save for me to download onto my phone. So everybody have a good night. Thank you for coming and tuning in. And please come again for my next IG Live or YouTube video. All right, close up. All right, how do I exit out of here? All right, let me exit. You want to end the live?